Good morning, world. I am extremely tired. Been up since 5 a.m. You can either see it in my face, hear it in my voice, but ultimately I'm tired. Point blank period. I just rushed my kids out the house, and though I'm tired, I could either go back to bed or start working on my dreams, my goals, my aspirations, and things that I want to do for myself, because this is the time I have to do so. This video is about time blocking, time management, and prioritizing your way to wealth. I go by the name of Q. If you're unfamiliar, if you are familiar, shout out to you and welcome back. This video, straight to the point. Again, time management, time blocking, prioritizing your way to wealth. These are all tried and true things that I've done, and I'm not wealthy yet, but I'm trending towards wealth. I'm not wealthy yet, but I'm trending towards wealth. Like, I'm on my way to wealth. Like, I will be wealthy eventually if I continue these habits. So time is something that's very finite, right? We all run out of it at some point, but time is something that we all have the same amount of every single day. There's 24 hours in a day. You hear that saying all the time, we got the same 24 hours. How come he's doing more than me? Or how come she's doing more than me? Or how come I'm not doing as much? Or get that out of your head right now. Get that out of your head, because nobody knows other people's lives other than what we show them, right? But again, we do have the same 24 hours, so I'll break down things that I've done. Like I said, I rushed my kids out the house today. One of the only days, because my kids don't go to daycare much, because I'm either with them or their mom is with them. But when they do go, I take advantage of that. If I'm kid free and it's just me in the house, I ain't gotta worry about nothing but what's on my to-do list. I get to it. I got up at 5 this morning. My kids came and jumped in the bed with me. I don't even sleep in my own bed, unfortunately. Like, I sleep in Parker's bed because the babies are still in the bed. They take advantage of the time that they get while they're young, but ultimately they will be sleeping in their bed sooner or later. So I sleep in Parker's bed, and Parker come upstairs, daddy, 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 jumping on me. My wife come in there with my son, drop Luca right on me, and I'm just in the bed with 2 kids, and I'm just looking like, what is going on? What time is it? Where am I? I don't usually wake up that early, so it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta get them ready for school, make lunches, brush teeth, get dressed, do this, do that. And as soon as I get them out the door, I get the rubbing my eyes, I get the yawning, I get the looking around, I see the dog only, and I'm like, do I go back to sleep or do I get up and attack the day? I think I get up and attack the day. So the first thing I do, literally the first thing I do, is make some coffee, as y'all just saw earlier, because that's what gets me going. I usually drink 1 cup of coffee per day. That's just what I do. I'm gonna have me some breakfast here shortly, and that's gonna get my engine going. I'm gonna follow that up with 20 ounces of water. I drink at least 40 ounces of water per day, but I start with the room temperature, 20 ounces, just to get that engine flowing, just to get revved up, because those are all things your body needs to get going. You can't do the amount of things that I do in a day, or you can't even sustain yourself physically or mentally throughout a day with 2 kids, a wife, a dog, and everything else you got going on without properly nourishing your body, right? I'm not even mentioning the physical exercise portion, but again, these are all things I start my day with. I have to make an appointment to get my hair cut. As y'all can see, I'm getting a little scruffy under here, so I'm gonna call my barber. Like, as soon as 8 o'clock hit, he's so sharp on his schedule. If you don't call him, set that appointment, you will miss out. And I need to be fresh for this weekend because we have a block party and it's going down. After I make that appointment, I have to bring the laptop out. I gotta get the laptop out, right? On the laptop, I'm in the process of filling out an application to be reimbursed for my student loans, and that's a video that I'll be releasing that really soon, because it's deep. It's really deep. So long story short, the school I went to, they were predatory in their lending, and the loan that they gave me, I paid all that money back, which I didn't have to, because they were involved in a class action lawsuit. And yeah, it's just really deep. I'll be releasing a video on that soon. So once I follow up with that application, I'll stay on my laptop because I have to reach out to work to follow up with an application I have with them. I have a claim that I'm taking out at work. That's another video for another day, but I have been off of work for a couple weeks due to some physical and mental ailments. Let's just say that I haven't been feeling the best, and I took some time off of work so I can revive myself in order not to hurt myself while I'm at work. I guess you can consider this video part of my routine as well, even though it's spur of the moment. I'll be honest, I just turned the camera on because my mind was going. My mind was flowing. I was thinking creative. I'm like, okay, I have a 1 video per week upload schedule. So if I just turn the camera on, create some content for you guys, that'll keep me on schedule comfortable with my schedule, right? One video per week. And I looked at my analytics recently and I seen I haven't released a video in 7 days. So I'm back pulling up. I'm gonna record this, edit it, and upload it all today. And I usually don't do that in one day. But again, I have a contract with myself. Shout out to my boy Brad Finn. Shout out to Kobe too, because he helped keep this in my mind. I never even heard it put that way, but think about a contract. A contract, when you sign it, you have to stick to these obligations. You have to stick to these fiduciary duties. Like a contract, it's a contract. And when you sign that contract, anytime you break a clause within that contract, you'll be reprimanded. You may be sued, you may lose money, you may do some jail time. Who knows what's in that contract? But ultimately, I have a contract with myself and I do not want to break it. If I can stay true to anybody else's contract, any contract I ever had with a brand, a sponsorship, a partnership, a joint venture, and I stay true to my word, if you can stay true to anybody else, you can stay true to you. I also need to reach out to my bank because I have a transfer pending. I transferred some money from my Fidelity brokerage account to one of my checking accounts because I have to have a minimum balance in that account in order not to be penalized. So for example, y'all know I'm big on bank churning. If a bank is offering $200 for a new checking or $300 or $500, I take advantage of that. But again, back to the contracts, they have rules and regulations that you have to follow, right? They have guidelines in order for you to be incentivized. So the $300 I received, let's use BMO Harris for an example. If you have a checking account with them and you get the free $300, but they'll ask you to directly deposit $3,000 within the first 90 days in order to receive that. So after that, you have to keep a minimum balance of whatever they say in order not to be penalized. And I'm not trying to be penalized. I got the $300 already in my possession. I've done this with multiple accounts already and I use that money to do other things with, but it's just things like that where you have to be mindful of, like, are you reading the fine print? Are you paying attention to the contracts? Are you doing what needs to be done in order to be compensated and not lose that money in the long run? Because that's how they play it. They try to get you in the door. I guess they prey on your ignorance. I guess they get you in the door, prey on your ignorance, and then if you drop the ball, then they come up because they penalizing you and they giving you fees and they're charging you this and charging you that, all because you wasn't mindful, all because you didn't read the contract, all because you didn't stay on top of your responsibility. And that's all part of time management, part of time blocking, part of prioritizing. This is a priority for me. This is top of mind. This is on my to-do list, and this is what I'm taking care of. So how do I remember all of these things? It's really, really simple, and it's something that I never even used to utilize. I promise you. It was just like, I'm so free-spirited and fly by night. Like, I just do things. I get up and do things on a whim, and I realized that's not always the best way to do things, especially when you got kids and other things going on. So I use my calendar. I have an iPhone. I have the iCalendar. Everything that I need done, I put it on my calendar. If I have something to do on X date, I put it on the calendar. If I have something to do at a specific time, I put it on the calendar. If I have something to do where I don't want to forget, I not only put it on the calendar, but I highlight it and tag it as urgent, as do right now, as don't snooze on this, on do this right now. Like, I put alerts in my phone and reminders and things like that, because that's something that I think will help a lot of people, because ultimately we're human, right? We forget things from time to time, especially when you're spinning so many plates. And I can't even count how many plates, but if I don't utilize my calendar, a lot of things won't get done. Simple and plain. If I don't utilize my calendar, if I don't make notes, if I don't write certain things down, I will forget. And that's the God honest truth. Utilizing my calendar, making notes, setting reminders, those are all things that has helped me get ahead. That also helps with bill pay. Let's say if you can't remember when what bill is due and what time and how much, you have to write these things down. I got sticky notes all over the office. I got sticky notes on the fridge. I got reminders, notes in the phone, things on the calendar. And if these notifications don't pop up and remind me, I will forget. And I don't want to forget, right? You don't want to forget to pay your water bill, or you don't want to forget to pay your phone bill. A lot of these things are on auto pay, don't get me wrong, but some things aren't. And the things that aren't, they have to get paid for. And if they're not set with a specific account as well, I mentioned having multiple accounts. So if you got one account for your water bill and another account for your mortgage and another account for your rent or another account for your insurance, you have to make sure that you're on top of all of it. Now, that sounds like a lot. It sounds tedious, and it very much so is. I will not lie to you and say it's not tedious and it's not extra, but it's easy once you start doing it. It's easy once you start building up the habit and it becomes a norm for you. Like, when it's the norm, it's almost like second nature, and you may not remember exactly, but know in your head, like, there's something I forgot to do, or there's something I need to do, or I'm forgetting something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. So it's always in the back of your mind somewhere. It's always on your mind. And that way, too much time doesn't go by and that you don't completely forget, because we all know what happens when you forget to pay bills, late charges, etc., overdrafts, etc. That's what we don't want. And I'm way past that stage in my life, man. I wish I would pay for an overdraft right now. That's $37 that could have been used to do something else with. So with these small blocks of time you get, make sure you take full advantage of them, because these are all things that help me get ahead. Let's say if you got 2 hours per day. Some people would think that's honestly not enough time. Like, 2 hours, what can I do with 2 hours? And instead they'll rather binge watch a show on Netflix. Now, there's nothing wrong with binge watching Netflix. There's a time and a place to veg out on your favorite TV show. Like, I do it from time to time. I'm lying. I will do it if I have the time, but because again, I know there's nothing wrong with it. Like, these days, the TV's not even on in our house. Like, we're so busy between me and my wife and the kids and everything else, where like we don't have time to even have the TV on. If we do have the TV on, it's on Disney Plus, right? It's on something that Parker's watching, because we let her watch some Disney shows from time to time. But ultimately, take those 2 hours and watch a YouTube video. Like, watch one of my older videos and see if there's something you can learn, right? Take those 2 hours and read a book. Take those 2 hours and listen to a podcast. Take those 2 hours and listen to an audio book. Do some journaling, right? Do some exercising. Take those 2 hours and do something that's going to propel you forward. If you've never created a budget, take those 2 hours and make your very first budget. Write all your bills down, write all your debts down, make you a budget, and come up with a plan in those 2 hours. You can even catch up on some rest in those 2 hours, because rest is important. Rest is very important. I'm not one of those go, hustle, grind, don't sleep is for suckers type of guy. Like, I get my rest. I'm gonna take me a nap when I need to. I'm gonna get 5 to 8 hours of sleep when I need to, because I know it's important. I've been burned out before. I never want to experience it again. I experienced it one time. After that one time, I said never again. Take those 2 hours and do something productive that's gonna help move the needle forward, because those 2 hours are more powerful than you think. Think about it over a 5-day span, right? 2 hours per day, that's 10 hours per week. Over a month, that's 40 hours. 40 hours a month that you can work on your business. 40 hours per month that you can spend learning a new skill set. 40 hours per month that you can spend applying at different jobs if you're trying to make a job change. 40 hours per month that you can spend, again, doing something productive that is going to move the needle forward and get you into a better position today than you were last year. It's all about management of time, right? Time management, time blocking, and taking full advantage of the time you have, because it is finite. I'm using my free time right now to make these videos for you guys. Like, that's what I want to do with my free time. I want to educate people, help people. I'm using these 2 hours in the free time that I have to work on everything that I mentioned earlier in the video. It's all about your priority, your mindset. And again, we all have the same 24 hours. It may look drastically different. You may not even have kids like I do. You may not even have a job. You may just have a business that you started. Whatever your life looks like, in those 24 hours, make sure you're utilizing every minute appropriately. Every minute. And the last thing I'll say is this: never underestimate the little things, right? I'm big on the little things, because all big things start small, right? Every single thing. Like, you can't get to $1 full without that first penny. I talk about that all the time. So while you're focused on what's right in front of you, right here, right now, that's most important. You may be able to plan out 3 to 5 steps ahead, but you don't want to think too far out that it hinders you, right? Because once you're overanalyzing, that analysis turns into paralysis, and you're so focused on how you're going to get there, and you don't know how you're going to get there, that you end up doing nothing. You end up doing nothing at all, and that's just no way to think about things. That's just not how you move when it comes to goal setting and just trying to accomplish things, right? You don't want to be too nearsighted either, right? So just think about where I started back in 2016. I didn't know I would be here right now. I just knew that I needed to trend in the right direction. I need to take that next best step every single day. Even if I fell off, even if I made mistakes, get up, learn from those mistakes, dust myself off, and keep it moving. But I only plan out about a week in advance these days. I try to focus on what's right in front of me, because I know if I do this, that's what's going to get me to that bigger picture. That's what's going to get me to my grand vision and goal, right? But it's all about deep focus and execution within those time blocks that you have, because without that, you'll just be spinning your wheels. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Also, follow me on IQ Makes It Happen on Instagram. Go show your boy some love. Become a member of the Q Crew. That's my accountability group where you'll get more one-on-one with me, exclusive content, and it's also a way to support the channel. I give lots more insight, lots more game, lots of money making ideas, activities, lots of behind the scenes in there. It's a paid subscription, just so I'm upfront about that. But click the join button down below, become a member of the Q crew. I would love to have you over there, and anybody who's looking to level up. Continue to watch these videos, but again, support. Hopefully everything that I share here is beneficial to you. These videos aren't for me. Yes, I get paid from these videos, but ultimately I'm making these videos to help anyone in need, because I remember how it felt to not have anyone to lean on, to not have anyone to go to not even know what's the next best steps to take in order to level up, because I knew I wanted to do better for myself. So I go by the name of Q, and like I always say, if Q can make it happen, you can make it happen. I'll holla at y'all next video. Peace.